Now, as a coach for men's football, how were you received? Meaning, because my son's a football player, and I hear all this macho talk. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in those locker rooms. How did you gain respect, or did they give it to you? How did that whole dynamic work?
I never was disrespected. So I don't even know what that looks like, to be quite honest. I honestly don't.
Can I ask, how did you go, though, from the transition from playing to get...
Fair enough, fair enough.
So I played pro for 3 years. I was injured most of the time. Didn't get a lot of playing field, but I got to put that uniform on and walk through it, run through a tunnel. That was amazing. Well, I retired, so I had double knee surgery. I had both of my knees done at the same time. The doctor didn't want to do that. I said, look, I'm older. You're gonna do both knees same time.
That's a whole lot of occupational therapy there. Not occupational, physical therapy.
Yeah, I did, because he said to me, we're gonna do 1 year, one knee, you'll have a year of rehab, and then the next year. And I said, dude, I'm 44 years old. This was back when I was 40. I said, I'm 44 years old. I don't have time to wait a year for this and a year. I said, you're gonna do them both. We're gonna do aggressive rehab, because I'm getting back out there on that field. I didn't get my fill in. So I had both knees done. That final year, it just wasn't working. And I knew I needed to give it up. I wasn't an asset to the team. And so I retired, and the owner of my team asked me to come back. She goes, we don't want to lose you. I was that chick on the sideline, like, let's go, get your game.
Good coaching, good coaching.
I didn't want, so she said, I want you to be one of my coaches, which I was terrified to do because I had never coached before.
Well, you never played football before, so it's okay.
Exactly, you know what I mean? It's right. It was like, keep going, Colette. So run, Forrest, run, just go. So I started coaching my women's pro football team. And then the following season, I was promoted, if you want to call it promotion, because women in football don't get paid yet. Right, so it wasn't like you were really
said women in football don't get paid yet?
Do not get paid. No, we have to pay to play.
So when you were playing on that team, you all had to pay?
Had to pay to play.
Oh, my Lord.
Coaches got paid. If you want to call $300 or $400 or $500 a paycheck, then you go right ahead,
Do people watch? I mean, you had audience and all of that, right?
Not really. So there's about 100 women's pro football teams in the nation, and some states have more fans come out, like football country areas, right? So Pittsburgh, Alabama, those states have Boston, football country. New York City, not so much. Everyone's going to the theater, restaurants, whatever,
Right.
So we didn't have a lot of fans. It was mainly your family and friends. But so I coached for 3 years, did the promo and the marketing, the public relations, and the events. So when I got that promotion, to me it was an honor because I just loved my team so much that I started going on fan group pages and to align myself with the New York Jets, because I'm a Jets girl. Grew up a Jets girl my entire life. That's who we wanted to win. And so somebody called me from the front offices of the New York Jets and said, oh my God, I see you guys everywhere, because I would position myself. Life is strategy.
Absolutely.
Right? Life is strategy. Absolutely. So I was, mind you, do I love football? Absolutely. Do I want to be around it? Absolutely. Am I going to be on social media talking to Billy Bob Thornton about football and who did? No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. But I knew I had to promote my women's team. So I positioned myself to say, well, the New York Jets, the brothers of the New York Sharks, the women's pro. So I started doing these posts, like back all the time. So these guys are like, what? So it started gaining interest. So somebody called me, and then we started talking. The guy offered to help out my team. I said, great, we need the help, whether it be equipment, whatever it is, anything will help. And I wanted on-field access. He offered on-field access, and I said, that's not going to do anything for my team. And then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, on-field access at practice will teach me to be a better coach for my women. Yeah, give me on-field access.
Right.
So then at some point he said to me, once you get on-field access, you're not going to need me anymore. Now, he was my only real in with the Jets at this point.
Right.
Right? So it was like, don't leave me. What are you talking about? And he goes, Colette, trust me. I love talking to you on the phone. Your passion is jumping through, strangling me right now. So you're not going to need me. You'll be fine when you get out there. And I got out there and I met the head coach and we started talking. And once again, I believe in research. So I did my homework on all the coaches and where they went to school,
Right.
what position they played when they were in high school, college.
Now, were you a defensive
everything.
coach? What
I was a
coach?
defensive
Defense
coach, yeah. So I
Okay,
coached
yeah.
the defensive backs. I'm all about defense. I love defense.
Right, right.
Yeah, so
My son was a DN.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just to what position did you play?
I was a free safety. I was a
Oh, okay,
defensive back.
safety. Yeah,
It's called
yeah.
defensive backs, and it's also called the secondary unit.
So you were warmly received, it sounds like, by the Jets for the most part.
Yeah.
Now you wear a lot of hats, and one is ambassador for domestic violence. Talk to us about that. What is it that you do in that realm? And then I'm going to get to your other hat because there's just a lot that you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank God, because
yeah.
somebody has to.
So I'm one of the ambassadors for the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And that came to be because I saw there was a woman from one of these reality shows. I'm not going to name the show, but it's something it's a guilty pleasure. I watch it.
I got quite a few guilty pleasures too.
We all
Right. I love them.
But it's one of these shows where there's a lot of black women that are.
Okay,
I already know what it is.
You know which one.
Say it.
Exactly. And so one of those women I heard was an ambassador for the NCDAV, and I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? And it just appalled me. I was like, what? So I was like, there's no way. I'm sitting, sitting, standing, kneeling for this. So I called them up. I literally called up their headquarters, and I was like, listen, I disagree with what somebody said to me, whoever answered the phone said, who are you? And I told them who I was, and they said, oh, well, hold on a minute. So they put me through to somebody on the executive staff, and they said, you need to tell this woman. She and I were speaking, and I told her exactly who this woman was that they were going to put on as an ambassador, and why, all the reasons why it's wrong. For black women, for black girls. And so she said, I didn't know that about her. I just knew that she's on TV. And I said, I want
Wrong
to say,
model.
do your homework, but I didn't.
Right.
Right, exactly. So it just kind of happened. And so, it's an honor to do that. So I just make more public appearances and speaking engagements about domestic violence.
Oh, interesting. Now, you also have an organization called Believe in You that you founded. Talk to us about Believe in You.
I love Believe in You Incorporated. So Believe in You Incorporated is my company that I started. We're not a nonprofit yet. I want it to be. It will be. I just don't have the time. I haven't had the time to do it yet.
Well, you can get a fiscal sponsor.
Hey, need those.
Yeah, you can get a fiscal sponsor.
Yeah, I need an intern, campaign assistant right now. So it'll have to be an intern. She'll get credits at Medgar Evers.
All right, so we're going to talk. I can help you.
But so Believe in You came to be because when I left the Jets practice that day, and Coach Bowles and I were talking shop. That's the head coach of the Jets at the time. Love him to death, pieces. He's a great person. He said to me, you should work for this organization. And so he said, next time you come back, bring a resume. And I'm like, I'm allowed to come back? Like, wait, work for the organization? So I was all over that. And he was sincere about it because he saw me out there working with the guys or talking it up with, what's going on and where I saw flaws. And so I remember getting to my car and I called my father. And I'm Daddy's little girl.
I'm going to say, you're close to him.
I'm very close to my dad.
I hear it, yeah.
And I remember calling my father and I said, Dad, can you believe that Coach Bowles said you should work for this organization? Can you believe it? And I kept saying it, can you believe that? Like, Dad, did you hear me? Can you believe this? And his response was, you know what? I can believe it. I'd be more proud of you if you believed it. And that resonated with me, and so I remember when eventually I started working for the organization. It took a while. It took almost about a year, almost a year for me to get down with the Jets. But I remember working there, and I said, I got to start a company to empower black youth and girls, black girls. And because I was getting letters from kids and fathers. Fathers were reaching out to me saying, my daughter has never watched football with me until she heard about you. And so I was like, oh my God, like this is incredible. Then it hit me. Remember what I said about praying to God?
Hey.
Make me important.
You don't need to tell me about that.
I want a platform. And all of a sudden, and for years I thought he wasn't listening.
He gave you your platform.
He sure did.
And at the right and perfect time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking about football and the rap that is getting today in terms of the concussions and safety and injury. But then I think about what a difference the sport has made in so many people's lives. Well, what do you think about that? Because right now, football is coming under assault for a lot of reasons.
Has been for a long time.
Yeah, and clearly we don't want to see our young men banged up and you know, unable to function after a career in football. Right. But I see it making a really good difference in so many people. What do you think? Is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk?
Absolutely it is. I mean, I've got broken fingers, messed up knees, bad back. I'll do it all over again.
Why?
Hope. Hope.
What it instilled inside of you, right?
Absolutely. It's a way for you to challenge yourself. So if you think you can't go any further, one more. One more. Every day, your plan is to get better and better every day. And football did that for me. I know a lot of kids that it does that for.
I saw that with my son. He's had a couple of injuries. I see him, it makes him very resilient. And actually, I think it makes you more mature before your time because there's a whole lot of setbacks in that sport.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's filled with setbacks, but
Yeah.
you've got to figure out a way to come back from that.
Yeah, like you can lose your starting position.
Yes.
Like that's a major setback. If you are on a football team and you think you're gonna start every game, no, you're not. You gotta fight for that every week.
Absolutely.
At practice.
Absolutely.
So if you get your starting spot taken away, the only way to get it back is to be better now.
Because my son was always, I'm taking that. And he would get it.
And that's right.
And he would take it.
And
but I
that's
like
right.
that, but that attitude helps you in life.
Yeah.
Desiree, it looks like you're trying to say something. I've been looking at you.
No, I mean, I just love the message to the youth. I think it's phenomenal just to be able to be an ambassador for youth, to show them, look, you can do something that you would not normally think you're capable of. And as a young girl, I actually remember even my mom saying to my brother, he can't play football. And I always asked her, why? Why? Isn't he a boy? Isn't he stronger? Isn't he capable?
It's the safety.
It's safe, but then the motivation that it takes for you to get out on that field and play to your best ability, you just can't, you can't bypass
I was scared
that.
to death my first game or scrimmage. I was like, oh Lord, am I throwing up again? You know? It's scary, but it is exciting. And for you to come, you know what? Once you become fearless, you become limitless.
I keep hearing over and over again in your story and with stories with other, not just boys, but girls, and not just football, with other sports. It's just this story about how sports is really something that saves them, right? Whether it's keeping them conscious on eating right and exercising. So my son, one of my sons is that, well, they're both athletes. One's playing like community football now, but the other one was a gymnast, right? And to have
That's a sport.
It is.
It sure is.
It is.
It's
such
tough.
a sport.
And you get injured a whole lot,
Right,
too.
and he was a black boy in gymnastics was something that is still rare, right? And but he became more health conscious. He was more concerned about what he was eating, what he wasn't eating. He was not messing with any drugs. He wasn't drinking, because there was things that were going to affect his ability to be that strongest gymnast out there. So I think, you know, when you told your story and how it brought you back to and brought out what was it within you out, right? After being buried for so long.
What's in you out. That's it.
Right. And then you see all the good that it does for so many people. Yes, that doesn't take away from the concussions and the other health challenges, but if you're looking at it on a scale of things, which outweighs more, right? Which one? Where do you see more good coming from?
Right on.
For the most number of people.
Anytime I'm insecure, anytime I have to think about my
fight it,
company.
don't you?
And I'm
Right.
like,
You
how
fight
dare
that.
me go speak to kids, my people, my community, and don't believe in me.
So you're talking
Look,
yourself
get
up.
Colette.
And you know
I
what
got
I'm hearing?
goosebumps right now.
Right.
I'm
And you know
like,
what I'm hearing, Colette? I'm hearing, and then we're going to have to wrap. I'm hearing an inner dialogue. It is what you say to yourself.
Oh,
and
yes.
people, we have to be so conscious of that. What are the things that we are saying to ourselves about who we are? This was fantastic. Thank you for bringing
Absolutely.
your spark on Brooklyn savvy.
If you
Thank
guys
so
ever
much.
want to, find me or have me do some motivational speaking engagements at your schools, colleges, corporations, church. I talk about MasterCard. So
I got something for you. I got something for you.
No, we already
I got something. But anyway, that's all the time. we have for this episode of Brooklyn Savvy. Thank you, Savvy panelistas. Thank you, Colette.
Thank
and
you.
we will see you next time on Brooklyn Savvy.